That's not nice.
I am the catalyst of professional wrestling because everything in wrestling happens because of me.
You want to talk about how you're King Switch? I'm the king of a generation. So when you go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling and you tangle with the Rainmaker, you remember that my fingerprints are on him. He wouldn't have become what he did unless it was for me. When you go to AEW, the company that the Young Bucks started, you remember that my fingerprints are on them too. I shaped this industry and my fingerprints are on you. And you want to talk about how everything in pro wrestling happens because of you? Little brother, you happen because of me.
You're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast. And I'm the King of Catterday, and it's Scary fucking Jay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following Sit Down Marks podcast is set for one fall. Introducing first, your heel host that is always helping to spread the good word of wrestling, Dirty Bird. Next up, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme, editor and producer, Primo. And finally, your co-host, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver of the Grip Wagon, straight off a cliff, assistant editor and producer, AJ!
What's going on, everybody? You know who it is. First of all, thank you to TW Ward for that awesome entrance there from the voice of Memphis Wrestling, TW Ward. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Best Kept Secret in Wrestling podcast. Today is extra special. Today is our 1 year anniversary. Happy birthday to us, Primo and AJ. Welcome, boys. We are officially a year old.
Woo!
How about it?
I'm very excited. Very, very excited. Also, I'm excited to be back. I missed a great episode last week. But who cares about that? It's our 1 year anniversary. A year! We made it a year. I cannot fucking believe
That is correct. We made it a whole year. I am gonna crack a cold one, not because tomorrow is St. Patty's Day, but today is 3/16. So happy 3/16.
Happy Steve Austin Day on our 1 year anniversary.
Happy birthday to us. Happy anniversary, boys. We did it. You could say we are legit podcasters now, apparently. So we already lit the world on fire. We're going to do it again for year number 2.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's the metric. If it, you make it a year, you're good to go. And
You're officially podcasters of here. But yeah, how appropriate, though. Our 1 year anniversary pods on 3/16 Day.
On Steve Austin Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, man.
It's like we planned
thanks, everybody out there, for being on this ride with us. It's been great so far. Our support is continue to grow here. And we're going to talk about the podcast a lot more here later on. We want to thank everybody right now for listening and subscribing on all those platforms: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many more on sports, and also on SportsWire online radio Fridays at 6:15, right before the Thomas Bryce Show, and throughout the week. If you like the pod, please tell a friend and leave us a great 5-star review on whatever platform you listen from. Want to give a shout out to Thomas Bryce, man. He's kind of been with us. He jumped on board with us and brought us to SportsWire Radio not long after we kind of got this thing rolling. So thank you to Thomas too as well here. So it's going to be a fun show today, man. Here I'm excited. We got some things to talk about, and just want to say, first of all, I want to thank Jet Designs on Facebook. They are one of our sponsors right now, and they are making those fire custom die casts. So go check them out if you need a custom die cast for any of your any of your fantasy leagues for yourself, for your collection, go check out Jet Designs. And then also the Coastland Apparel, who's been with us since day one. Go to coastlandapparel.com. Use promo code BirdTV for 15% off your order. Let's get this thing rolling here with the pop of the pod here today. We kicked it old school. We're going to be talking about CM Punk versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 29 here a little bit later. So I kind of wanted to kick it back to one of CM Punk's old interest music, since that's kind of been the talk here lately. Kick it up, Primo. Man, that was kind of when CM Punk really took over the world with that song. You know what I mean? You guys remember when that one hit? It was always a big pop.
Oh yeah.
I was like just being like,
Kill switch engage is pretty good. So.
Yeah, it really is. All right, AJ, get us rolling, man. What's going on this day in wrestling history and birthdays, man? You got a few here for us?
this day in wrestling
Welcome
history
back
and
to We
birthdays.
missed you last week, sir.
I missed you guys. That was miserable. When
I missed you more.
it should be a competition of who missed me more.
He probably did, because I got to see you last weekend. So.
Right.
This is true, yeah.
But then I got to see you on Sunday for our cameos.
Also very true. Which
So
was
never mind. Basically.
Everyone miss me in the adulation. What's
fall
today?
at my feet.
Today is March 16th for all you marks out there. Today in wrestling history, we're going to start with 1960. Insert Dirty Bird is old joke here. I couldn't come up with one. Joe McCarthy defeats Mario Galento in Mobile, Alabama to win the NWA Gulf Coast Heavyweight title. Yeah, that match ended Galento's third reign as champion, if you didn't know that.
What belt was that again?
That was the NWA Gulf Coast Heavyweight title.
Nice.
And that was his
Very
third reign.
his
His third, yes, his third reign.
Right.
So, it's an important day. And then 3 years later, the WWF ran in Newark, New Jersey. And I wanted to mention this because for the World Championship, it was a battle of the buddies. It was Buddy Rogers defeating Buddy Austin in Newark, New Jersey. Back when Dirty Bird was working as a carny on Coney Island or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't come up with a Dirty Bird joke, so
It's okay.
yeah.
Thank you for giving me the day off. I mean, it is our year anniversary.
Yeah,
so-
you're welcome.
Thanks.
Sorry,
Thanks.
it's his gift to you.
Thanks.
Yes, my gift to you. No old jokes today.
You tried.
Um,
You tried. bastards. You
Moving
tried.
all the way to 1994 in one of the grossest matches. In Munich, Germany, Mick Foley, who was then wrestling as Cactus Jack, this is when he lost his ear. Lost
Yep.
his ear in the match with Big Van Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So, for those of you who don't know what happened, the WCW ropes were apparently like elevator cables that they just wrapped in tape, and they were super, super tight. And Foley went through the
Toy.
toit, like a toiger.
Yeah, he
Wow.
went through and he got his head snared.
Head stuck, and then he said that he knew something was wrong immediately, so he tried to like slide out and book.
Yep.
So his
If-
ear didn't.
yeah.
With
It
his
didn't
ear.
rip off immediately. It was like kind of like
Dangling.
little flappy, and then Vader finished the job essentially, not intentionally, obviously, but Vader gave him a couple of punches, and his ears went bloop. So what I
Like the
didn't,
ear off.
so what I didn't know about this event was that after the ear came off, the ref, because they were in Munich, so the ref couldn't speak English. He's a French-speaking ref. Picked up the ear. And this is what I imagine. Like, you know how sometimes when there's like garbage in the ring or something, the ref will like kick it with their foot, like, man, like get out of here. But so that's what I imagine he did. But he actually picked up the ear and gave it to the ring announcer, who gave it to Ric Flair. So Ric Flair was just walking around with Mick Foley's ear on ice. They never could reattach it to Foley's head, so he's to this day without an ear. That's
Great story, though. And
That's
like, the Flair and Foley really don't like each other either, right? Even adds to the story.
I bet, because Flair was just carrying around Mick Foley's ear. Do something with it. I don't know. The one more thing I want to talk about in 2008, there's not a lot that happened today. And the only reason I want to mention this, because this is an amazing card. Ring of Honor, Take No Prisoners, is held in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And on this show, this is, 14 years ago? We have Kevin Steen defeating Roderick Strong. Kevin Steen is, of course, Kevin Owens. The Briscoe brothers beat Joey Matthews and Necro Butcher in a No Rules tag match. Cool. Davey Richards and Rocky Romero. Davey Richards, who we just saw recently.
We just saw, yeah.
Yeah.
Two Fridays ago.
They
Fucking unit, dude.
The Ring of Honor tag team titles. And then Bryan Danielson defeated Austin Aries. And then in the main event, Nigel McGuinness defeated Tyler Black for the Ring of Honor World title. I just thought that was a really cool card.
Definitely.
It was 14 years ago, and a lot of those guys are still going and still amazing.
Nice.
Moving on to birthdays. We only have 2 today, so I went backwards a day for 1942. Sheiky Baby. Iron Sheik was born this day in 1942.
Love the Sheik. Everybody does.
Classic. He's one of my favorite all-time.
Probably the best Twitter.
No Hogan with definitely the best Twitter. No Hogan without Sheiky Baby. There's no Hogan.
No. And Gene Mean is still my favorite thing ever.
Right.
Gene Mean.
And I humble you.
I love Sheiky Baby. Yesterday we also have one Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, born yesterday in 1996. Today,
music.
Lovely. Today we had Henry O. Godwin.
The Godwins?
Yeah, 1964. Henry Godwin, born today, 1964.
Nice.
And then tomorrow, happy birthday going out to Samoa Joe, born in 1979. And the guy who deserved his exact spot on the card, nothing better, nothing worse, Test, was born in 1975 tomorrow. That is this day in wrestling history. And some birthdays thrown in there.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Yeah, pretty
So
eventful.
just shy of Test would have been 47. All right, well, here we go, Primo.
Wait a minute. Is Test dead?
Yes, Test.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
For a while now.
Yeah.
I'm
quite a long
assuming
time.
something heart related.
No.
Moving on. All right, so Primo, got anything in the headlines going on?
Yeah,
here,
we got
man?
a few
gotta
things
talk
in the
about some
headlines.
stuff.
Here, let's get these headlines kicked off. All right.
Whose game is it?
Primo's game, baby! 265 combined days as your sit-down Marks champion, baby. That's me, 2 reigns, sit-down Marks champion.
Yeah.
When you said 265, I was like, oh, he's going to start throwing numbers out there like AJ used to. And I was gonna say combined
That's
days. And
official.
I
That's
was like,
official.
oh, okay, combined days. Gotcha. All right. Gotcha.
We could have done. I realize that we're on our year anniversary. That's a throwback to our early days. The whose games. But if we want to let that gimmick die,
Just let
a
that one
horrible,
die with
miserable
the-
death,
Turn myself down in my ear.
I'm totally okay. I gotta turn myself out of my ear.
We definitely had to turn that.
All right, yeah, so let's get to the old news giggles here. During a match, this isn't much of a giggle, but during a match on SmackDown, unfortunately...
That's a terrible segue.
Unfortunately...
Go to something else and come back to this.
Yeah, get some sort of news giggle in there.
Nothing like a good news giggle.
God.
All right, so Fightful reported that on March 10th, WWE filed for trademarks for the names/words Butch, which if you watch SmackDown, you know what that's from. And they also filed trademarks on the terms moonsault and lockup.
How do you trademark lockup?
Yeah.
That's a pretty widely used term in other areas.
I think in AEW they say collar and elbow, tie
Collar
up.
and elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The latest
Yeah,
inductee into
weird.
the WWE Hall of Fame is none other than Queen Sharmell, and she will be inducted by her husband, the two-time Hall of Famer, Booker T. King Booker.
I don't like it. I don't like
I
it.
mean-
Might be a hot take. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't. Tell me what she did, boys.
What Sharmell did?
Yeah.
She got in a
Was
really
she-
awkward storyline with Kurt Angle.
Was
when
she a
he was
Nitro
like
Girl?
all rapey and stuff.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Basically, I mean, she's going in as a valet, I guess, right? Like, for being Queen Sharmell with King Booker.
Oh, hell!
Wasn't she a Nitro girl
That's
too?
what I said. I said,
Yeah.
wasn't she a Nitro Girl? Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I don't listen
that.
when you talk.
I know. I know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I disagree with this one. I don't like it.
I mean, do
Yeah,
they have
that's
any
a-
other
I think-
ladies on the card?
What's that?
Do they have any other ladies on the card this year?
Not that I've
No, they don't. So
seen
they
yet.
had to pick one.
Right, they had to
They
pick
could've
one,
picked
but
a
we
better
could have
one.
went somewhere else. We could have gave it to Natalia already.
Nia Jax.
Nia
Alright.
Jax
Get
is
out.
just waiting in the
So-
wings.
During a match on SmackDown, unfortunately, a belly-to-belly suplex ended up with Big E suffering a broken neck.
This started a bad weekend for wrestling, man.
He later
Yeah.
confirmed that he has fractures in both the C1 and C6 vertebrae, but the good news is he does not require surgery. However, what's the odds that he ever comes back?
I'm low. I'm gonna say low. C1
Less than 10%.
C1 is right there on your brain
C1
stem.
is that's the bad one.
He could have
Yeah.
been paralyzed. And what I told I talked to Dirty about this the other day offline. My take on it is, his physique probably helped him a lot. His thick neck, having all the muscle,
Yeah.
probably saved him.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think, man? I mean, it's a scary move to do. If you guys both don't, if Ridge has got to elevate him up high and properly, Big E's got to get a good spring too, off his feet, so they both have to, do
There
it.
was
It just
also-
looked bad from
there was-
the beginning. 'cause
Yeah,
it
there
just
was
looked like
also like speculation that when Big E took that, you know how he does the spear to the outside, when he did the spear to the outside and flat back on the ground, that kind of could have maybe knocked him silly a little bit.
because he hit pretty hard right before that,
Right.
Right before that happened. Rich is getting a little bit of flack too because this is
I
like
heard-
a couple different incidents now with him, right?
And I heard he felt terrible, and he has visited Big E in the hospital.
Yeah,
So
that's what
Sure,
I heard.
sure.
I heard
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
was like distraught over.
Yeah.
After.
I mean, I
and
would be
I
too.
hate Ridge Holland, but I feel bad
Yeah.
because
Yep.
I mean, it looked like the more you watch it, it didn't look like either of them really botched it too much.
Right.
It just
Yeah.
looked like a freak occurrence.
Or just to look like they just did it just without either of them getting much elevation.
Yeah,
Just like, you know what I
without-
mean, like
yeah.
it just doesn't work that
It's
way.
so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I feel so bad, man. Oh man, it's
I
thank
let
God
out-
he's got moving his fingers, and that's
yeah,
great.
I watched it live, and I let out such a loud, audible gasp in the
Yeah.
living room that my wife came out of our bedroom thinking something happened to me.
I can't imagine. I can't picture. Like it's weird because you think Big E, he's awesome. Everyone loves him and stuff. But now trying to picture WWE without Big E, it's weird. Like he
Recent
was,
WWE champion.
yeah, but even then, like it's not gonna.
His
Be the
charisma,
same.
he lights up the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know how I said that WWE trademarked the words moonsault? Fightful Select reported that at South by Southwest, Stephanie McMahon announced WWE's NFT platform is called WWE Moonsault, and it will be WWE's official marketplace for NFTs, whatever those are.
right off.
keep moving.
I don't even know what that is.
I
I don't
even
know-
give a fuck.
I
either.
don't know what that is, or I don't
damn
get,
it. It's
something.
It's like
Is
the
it like
douchiest thing.
digital stuff
ever.
that you buy?
And then, but I do like the people who spend like a shit ton of money on. Like this happens on Reddit a lot, where people will spend like an absurd amount of money for like an NFT, and then people just screenshot it. And then the people are like, "Hey, you can't do that. It's mine." And
It's on the
people are
internet,
like, "Well, I
idiot."
did. Like, it's there. It's mine now too." Fucking
Okay.
idiots.
So Mick Foley announced a new podcast is coming soon named Foley is Pod.
Dope.
Yep, I look
For
forward
me-
to that.
Premiere dates have not yet been determined and released.
Did you guys ever see any of his stand-up?
I've seen some.
I did.
I heard it's like cringy bad, but I've never seen any of it, so I,
I mean,
can't comment on it.
I've seen like a little bit just from his TV show that they used to do, and
I
it
don't
was
know that I
just-
can
it was
watch
just
him like for an hour, but
It was
No.
just like story time.
yeah,
which is,
yeah.
I mean, that's what his first book was, and it was fantastic. So I can't see
Yeah.
it being all that bad.
Speaking of the New Day member Xavier Woods returned to action actually the day after Big E's injury, which makes me think maybe they brought him back
For that?
yeah, kind of like as a reflex. But Xavier Woods returned over the weekend after being out himself.
Hooray! I love Xavier. I love New Day.
And for the last headline of the week,
Yeah.
the wrestling world is saddened as Monday, one of the greats, legendary two-time Hall of Famer Scott Hall passed away. Pretty sad. He's a legend. He's probably the greatest to never win the world title.
I would argue he is the greatest to never
Yeah,
win it.
exactly. So it's like,
Yeah. I mean, it's him and Roddy. You know, they're the only two.
And it's just he was one of those polarizing people. He wrestled during a time when it was the land of giants. So it was just awesome. Everybody does, I was going to actually do the whole show with a toothpick, but I forgot. But it's just, everybody knows like the toothpick throw, the Ayo or anything,
The bad man.
Exactly. So that happened on Monday, and the whole wrestling world is feeling it.
AJ, you want to talk about him? Go ahead.
Yeah, because so growing up, I wasn't the biggest Razor Ramon because I was a face guy. So I'm like, Razor Ramon, blah, blah. But like the more you look back on it, like when the Razor Ramon character like debuted, it was almost as revolutionary as fucking Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan. Like when everyone was like kind of like starting apart from Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, they're all wrestlers. And then you had this like over the top, bad man character, and it was ahead of its time, and it was amazing.
Right.
And then not only that, but he put over so many people. He had a great brain for the business. Like he's the one who came up with Sting's crow gimmick. We've talked about that before. Mm-hmm. It makes me sick and then he had his personal demons and he overcame them, and the whole thing just makes me sad.
Yeah, this one hurt, man, for me because if you guys you go back and listen, when we did our top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time, Razor Ramon was my number 2 next to Flair, at number 1, and I grew up in the South, so I watched NWA, I watched World Championship Wrestling with my dad, and one of the very first times that we flipped over and started watching Saturday Night's Main Event in the 80s, one of the first guys that I seen on that platform was Razor Ramon, and it was a promo, and I wasn't old enough to watch Scarface yet, you know what I mean? So I didn't know, and I thought, man, if there's anything out there that defines cool that I've ever seen on TV involved with wrestling, it's him. You know what I mean? He had the look, the muscles, the gangster mentality, the women, like I said, the drinks, the chicas, man. You know what I mean? Like he had it all, and and then to turn out to see what he ended up being, like I said, he was one of the first guys that got me into watching, WWF, and he was a huge gimmick. All of us, like Macho Man, we impersonate him at some point, hey-o. Or throwing, when you putting a toothpick in your mouth, after you're eating dinner, you want to throw it in somebody's face, right? I mean, and it's because of him.
I still do that.
Yeah, and you know, and
Throwing people's face.
Yes.
to see Razor, like everything that he did in the WWF, WWE, you know, and then, you know, what if Razor never showed up on Nitro? Like, where would we be right now? Like, he changed wrestling single handedly. You know, he wasn't the top guy in WWF, so he made himself the top guy in another promotion. You know, him and Nash changed the business. You know, like I said, yeah. I mean, this one hurt for me, man. Everybody knows, you know, the famous Hall of Fame speech. You know, and like, you know, he was just, you know, everything that wrestling, you know, personifies. You know, nothing outside of the ring. I'm talking everything like in the ring, you know, and you know, the gimmicks and, you know, how many main events this guy was in. You know, we're always going to attach him to the ladder match with Shawn. You know
One
what
of the
I
greatest
mean?
matches of all time.
Yeah, and the NWO right there, you know, behind Primo, that picture, you know what I mean? Like, Razor had it all, man. Like, absolutely had it all as a wrestler. And I love seeing all these stories come out of, you know, people of how Scott Hall, you know, affected them, or you know, he taught them something or something like that, you know. And then above all this, too, man, like my heart hurts like a whole different way for Kevin Nash, man, because, you know, I mean, like, you know, it's, you know, to lose. I mean, those guys got so much stories of running up and down the road with each other, and you know, and I feel bad for Kevin too. So, but yeah, man, like, you know, he's my second favorite wrestler of all time. You know, he was one of my heroes. It's never a good feeling when you see one of your heroes die. You know, it makes you feel old. It makes you feel sad. You know, it sucks. It sucks, man. And, you know, like, man, you know, I'm gonna, I've been watching a lot of Razor matches the last couple of days. So, but yeah, so I put a logo on the screen there. You know, the old bad times don't last, but bad guys do logo. You know, so we'll leave that on there for a while for Razor. So, but I mean, yeah, one of the best ever, right?
For sure.
Now I'm bummed again.
Yeah,
we should have done this at the end of the pod.
Well, let's move on to the fan shout out here. If you want to DM us on Twitter at SitDownMarks, you can let us know where and when you listen to the pod, and we will shout you out. I want to shout out all the fans at Iron Spirit Pro from this past Friday. Me and AJ was out there. We had a good crowd, good turnout. It was really awesome. So shout out to everybody there, and I want to shout out to Joe from the state of Washington. Listens in his car on his way to work. Boys, how about that, Primo and AJ? Huh?
Hello,
Man.
Joe.
Me and you have something in common, Joe. I also listen to our show on the way to work.
So thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, Joe. I appreciate it. The champ appreciates you.
It's hollow. Don't listen to him. He's a cocky little shit. The other two of us appreciate you, though, Joe.
All right, AJ's back. No more crickets. Let's see if he's got a movie of the week for us here this week. Oh, the crickets. The crickets might be better than your reviews, AJ. Just saying.
AJ's movie of the week.
Oh, you have no idea how true that is. So,
Well done, Primo. Well done.
this week I completed a trilogy of sorts. So I watched WWE with Scooby-Doo. I watched WWE with the Flintstones. This week I watched WWE with the Jetsons in Robo WrestleMania.
Yes.
Oh boy. First of all, this movie is like 3 hours long. And guess what? It was shit. So
No.
So the premise of the movie, and I have a couple of things I want to say about this, because it says a lot about modern day, thank you, Beef, modern day WWE right now. So it takes place in present day, beating 2017. Well, it doesn't take place. It starts in 2017, where the Big Show, Paul White, is in a plane accident and freezes. So he's frozen. Like he's frozen. Skip to 100 years from now.
What happened to Captain America?
Basically, yes.
And Han Solo, right?
Yeah, that wasn't 100 years, though. That was only like 2 days.
Oh.
That was Carbonite. Me push my glasses up my face. So in the future, WWE is still a thing. It's run by Vince McMahon, right? Because it's
So
fucking space, you
okay.
assholes.
All right.
So there's still WWE, and they're all robots now, but they're robots like Roman Robot and Sheamus Bot
This is
and
recent.
Robo Rollins. This means that they still, 100 years in the future, they still haven't put over any new fucking stars. They're still making Sheamus Robot, Dolph Robot. Like these are the robots that they have in their WWE 100 years in the future. They made no more new stars. Roman Robot. Anyways, so Big Show gets unthawed and takes over the world via WWE. There's some time travel. George Jetson. The whole thing is him being a boob. That's every joke is George Jetson is a boob. And it ends with, I'm obviously skipping all the money jokes because there are a lot of money jokes in this.
I bet they are.
And they save the world basically through the power of robo wrestling. And it is the dumbest fucking thing I have ever seen. I've watched a lot of dumb wrestling movies. This is hands down the least entertaining, the dumbest. I wanted to murder my own face. Like I didn't want to like smash something through my TV. I wanted to murder my own face just to make it stop.
So
I think I want to right now from listening to you talk about it.
Yes, you try experiencing all 184 minutes on
God.
So I like how everybody is Roman Reigns bot, freaking Dolph Ziggler bot, Stardust bot, Cody Rhodes,
Stardust bot, yes.
Alicia Fox bot.
Yes, one of WWE's biggest stars, Alicia
Except
fucking Fox. There's
Michael
one.
Cole is Michael Cole.
Michael Cole. Yep, he's just Michael Cole. He did not get the
And
Robo
also,
treatment.
the mayor is played by Will Friedle, who is Eric from Boy Meets World.
Yes, true. These are
All
all
right.
true things.
All right, it's time to talk about what we're going to talk about. It's our 1-year anniversary show, boys, and it's a big one. We're going to talk about our weekend at Iron Spirit Pro, AEW, WWE, of course, Impact Wrestling. Plus, I got a nasty a promo school promo from John Cena on The Rock, and this was a really good one. And also, we got our big interview with Gary J., the Gateway Heritage Champion from St. Louis Anarchy. One of the best independent wrestlers in the USA, man. It's going to be a fun pod here. Let's have some fun, Primo. Kick us off, man. Let's get rolling.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and Aging.
All right, weekly recap. Let's get to it here. We're going to talk about a few shows coming up this weekend. First of all, I think everybody after this weekend in independent wrestling is getting ready to head down to Dallas because there's like 1,000 shows this weekend. Like anywhere you are in the United States, probably there's a show going on within probably 100 yards of you. Like that's how like that's how many shows is going on. So, but first of all, AJ, man, let's talk about our Friday night, man. Iron Spirit Pro, we got there, put up the ring, tore down the ring, set up shop, all that kind of stuff. Saw a lot of cool matches, man, and it was a big night, man.
I forgot how out of shape I was before. I mean, I believe I had the same thought last time we did this, but I was reminded again how out of shape I was after the 2 days of setting it up and tearing it down, and I should probably do some push-ups or something. Also,
and you weren't even there for the load up.
I know. I even missed the first part of it. The actual show was such a blast. Your 1/3 of your favorite podcast got to do color commentary.
That's right. AJ did.
Goddamn night long.
Yep.
I can see why people would want to do this for a living. It was so much fun. Of course, Steve, the voice of Iron Spirit Pro, invited us on to do color, and Dirty Bird pussed out and didn't want to do it for some reason.
I know
hiding in the
when,
corner.
Things are better.
He offered it to us, and Eric shrank like 8 like 8 inches. It was like, no.
What
And
me?
then, like,
I don't like
away.
talking about wrestling. Come on now.
I know.
No,
None of that is obviously
I
true.
stepped to the side for the man far greater and better and more qualified for the job. AJ sit right there next to Steve. I can't wait to hear it, man. I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
It
AJ
was
got
a
to
lot
call
of
the whole
fun.
card. Storm Grayson and Connolly was awesome.
Yes.
The Lowlifes and the Bang Brothers was pretty sweet, man.
Actually,
Those guys
that was probably my favorite match.
probably
tonight.
favorite one tonight. Yeah. I enjoyed 815 Sabotage and Gunner versus Cornboy and Studwell. That one was awesome. I think these should be coming out on IWTV here pretty soon.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
We will let you know that Brubaker did retain the title. He's going to be facing Dante Leon. Saturday, May 7th is the next show. This one's going to be outdoors at the Union Station in Bloomington, Illinois. So come on out. May 7th. St. Louis Anarchy is running Friday night before, so make it a weekend, man. Go to St. Louis Anarchy on Friday. Come to Iron Spirit Pro on Saturday in Bloomington. Make it a weekend, man. It was really awesome. We got to witness, I thought it was pretty cool. I got to watch Stephen Wolf and Hartenbauer, but I got to watch it with Bucky. So me and Bucky got to watch that match together, man. It was really cool.
I'm not going to lie at one point because Steve and I were right underneath the hard camera. And at one point during that, because I love that match too, like it had a great storyline. Those two have been best friends. Obviously won't give away the ending. But at one point I went like this, like I was sitting there and I because you were up on that ramp and I went, and I looked over for a second. I'm like, oh, I want to go watch the match with Eric and Bucky, but I'm stuck here doing awesome commentary.
Yeah.
By the way, if you like corn puns, highly recommend the Corn Boy match because that's all I did was make corn puns though.
Yeah.
I almost said corn porn, which I don't even want to know what corn porn is.
I'm a new fan of Solomon Tupu. I like my big horses in wrestling. So and it's awesome to see Dion Roosman back. Another guy that's just an absolute unit. Looks like a star. You could probably throw him in the bloodline right now, and it would absolutely work.
He would fit right in.
He might even push Roman Reigns out. I think he might be a little bit better looking than Reigns. Like he's a killer, man. So you got to watch him. So next show Saturday, May 7th, man. Thank you to Logan once again. We had a blast out there. Gave away a lot of merch and got to say hey to a lot of people. So another big show coming up May 7th. So get ready and come see us.
Can't wait for that show. Cannot wait. It's gonna be great.
Gotta get you and Steve back on commentary for that one too.
I would love that shit.
All right, so a couple shows this weekend. AAW's firing back up this Saturday, Logan Square Auditorium. Fred Yeha is going to be there. Davey Vega, Matt Fitchett, and our boy Hartenbauer is going to be there on the Big Arms Big Paychecks tour. It's rolling through Chicago. Sunday, March 20th, I'm sure Dylan's going to be at this one. Good times, bad times. Cole Cabana, Warhorse is going to be there for Glory Pro. And also freelance of Shift and Power Friday night in Chicago at the Logan Square Arena. And then also Saturday night, sponsored by your boys here, the Sit Down Marks podcast, Zawa Live presents Money. It's going to be at Prophetstown, Illinois, Saturday, March the 19th. Rough Crossing's going to be there. Damian Deschain, Berna, Connor Hopkins. It's going to be a big card out there. This is going to be the last card before they head down to Mania for the big card down there. So lots, like I said, tons and tons of wrestling going on this weekend. Go check it out. Go support somewhere this weekend. And also, guys, I just found out the April 1st Zawa Live show that we are sponsoring, Guava Mania 2, is going to be, you can actually live stream it for only $5.
Hot damn.
Yeah, so be able to check that one out. It's going to be on April 1st. So let's move on, AJ. Let's get to some AEW, man. What's going on in the world of Dynamite and Rampage, brother?
I missed talking about this last week, which made me sad because I loved the Revolution pay-per-view.
Oh,
fantastic!
So much, it was amazing. So we have some fallout, some follow-ups. First of all, it kicks off with Jericho and Eddie Kingston addressing each other. And I'm not going to say anything surprising about this, but it was still so cool how they did it. It's about time. So Jericho obviously didn't shake Eddie Kingston's hand after their match on Revolution, and Eddie Kingston was like, why don't you shake my hand? You said you were going to, and Jericho was, I'm sorry, I was wrong, blah, blah, blah. So then he shakes Eddie Kingston's hand, and then Daniel Garcia and 2.0, of course, come in to attack.
Yep.
Santana and Ortiz come in and make the save. And then heel turn from Chris Jericho beats the fuck out of Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston with a bat. At one point, Jake Hager came in to... You think that, maybe Hager's going to help out his Inner Circle buddies. Nope. He joins Jericho. So, about time heel turn. Yes, you in the Iron Spirit Pro t-shirt.
So, I was watching this. Obviously, I'm a Jericho-holic, so I was cool with it. But my thought was, and I like Jake Hager, but if he wasn't in line with Chris Jericho, where else would he be in AEW?
Nowhere. He would be doing indie shows and have matches on Dark.
Right.
MMA.
Which is fair. So I absolutely agree with what you're saying, as a matter of fact. I also like Jake Hager, but at the same time, if Jake Hager's not around, I don't give a fuck, at all.
We the people.
He did have a chant that got over.
Sure.
That was Jack Swagger, not Jake Hager, sir.
Yes, this is valid.
That was Jack Swagger, not Jack Swagger.
Swagger.
Jack Swagger.
Sir.
So the end result of this little fracas is Eddie Kingston looks
good words.
even more like the underdog babyface. The crowd loves him. Jericho got so much heat, and it's going to be like this feud going forward is going to be even better. They formed the Jericho Appreciation Society, which was pretty much amazing. And
great idea, stupid name though.
Oh, I love it. I think it's so
That's what
dumb.
I was going to ask. What do you guys think about the name? I had seen where Jericho trademarked Jericho Appreciation Society and JAS. So I feel like it, I'm going to be on board just because I'm a Jericho-holic, like I said.
Yeah.
But
it's not as good as the Pinnacle or
no. It's not that original.
No, it's not.
It's but at the same time, maybe that's what we need. We don't need some stupid creative name.
The reason I'm so excited for it is because it's another Jericho reinvention, and I cannot wait because every time he reinvents himself, it's just
Primo
amazing.
just don't want to insult Jericho too much.
Also,
I love him so much.
That is a thing, though. What you just said about him reinventing. If you haven't noticed here lately, he's been calling himself an influencer.
An influencer, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that segment. It was awesome. I loved it. Up next, we have a kind of a throwaway match between Hangman Adam Page, the champ, versus Dante Martin. Dante Martin looked amazing. He has big things coming up. Adam Cole, again, comes out and blah, 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 blah. Same old will continue. Then we have Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson versus JD Drake and Anthony Henry, who we just saw, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Against Gary J.
Yeah. Gary J talks about it in the interview.
So Moxley and Danielson just look unstoppable. They look so good. This is a squash match. I don't know if they're face or heel or if it matters. It
doesn't matter, yeah.
No, they're so good. I think they're going to be taking over the whole entire... Not taking over, because I don't think they're going to have any tag belts whatsoever.
They have enough. They have enough love and heat on them either way that they can just fence it and be fine. Yeah, they're fine. Yeah.
Yes, you in the Washington hat.
So since Daniel Garcia is aligned with Jericho Appreciation Society, who are the young boys that are going to join Danielson and Moxley?
Dante Martin.
Lee Moriarty.
Hopefully Wardlow, because I just love Wardlow. We'll get to him in a moment. But yeah, I don't know. Anyone. And obviously I don't think they're going to go for the tag belts, nor should they get them if they do go for them.
I just want them to be this unstoppable faction.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Regal is awesome. Like I was so excited to talk about Regal coming on AEW, and then I had to bail last week.
yeah, we
I
talked
was
about that.
so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want them to be
excited.
this like unstoppable. They're going to be just because of, you know what I mean.
I
Because-
mean, but
I love Daniel, but I'm not like a Mox guy. You know what I'm saying?
am.
I don't. Okay, so they're not like a pure tag team, right?
No.
So I'm
No.
saying I don't want them to like put them together and then they just obliterate everybody in like FTR, all the like, real tag teams, like just clean out the whole division because they're Bryan and Moxley. You know what I'm saying? Just
See,
because, you know what I mean? Like
I don't think they're gonna
like-
do that just because.
I don't think they are either. I think we're
No.
going to be together for a while and then a fallout.
Yeah, and then it'll be an awesome feud, and because I am a Mox guy, I fucking
Yeah,
love
they
that.
can't
Same.
clean out
Yeah.
the division though.
have you read that book yet?
Mox.
No,
Oh.
Dirty.
Oh no, not yet. No.
I
Get
did
to
a
it.
book report on it.
That's
Oh
good.
man, there's
It's-
only so
it's
many hours in a day.
It's a short book. It's like this big.
Yeah. Off the rails. Hey, we haven't been off the rails in a while. Hey, 1 year anniversary. Up
Back
next,
on,
we have,
back on.
we have Pac versus Wheeler Yuta in a nothing match. It was fine.
Okay.
That was just on there because Hangman Page and whoever Dante Martin didn't go their allotted time, so they threw that match on there. And then up next we had, which was Primo, I thought of you. The breakup of the HFO, and it was rushed, like it was. There was no storyline beforehand. All of a sudden, Matt Hardy's just like, "Yeah, I'm an asshole when I put on a suit," and so they turn on him. And who makes the save? Primo. Who makes the save? To what music though?
Yeah.
That'll make your dick hard, baby.
Oh,
Do they own the rights to
that'll
that
make your dick
music?
hard.
Is that how they get to use
That
it?
is a.
They own that music.
It's a royalty-free song.
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Anybody can play that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what does that say? That a tag team or any wrestler got over a royalty-free song 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So-
I went nuts. Like, cause everyone knew that he was coming. Obviously, it was Jeff
Yeah.
Hardy,
Yeah.
and
When that
that'll make
song
your
hit,
dick hard.
I was dancing around my living room like a jackass.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
The best part about that is that he took the time to dance before making the save.
Yes.
well, yeah,
That was so
you got to.
dumb. That was so
It
dumb.
really was.
Like he stopped to do his,
He's like,
and
I'm
then,
here,
and
I'm
then,
here.
and then
Oh, yeah.
takes off.
My brother's
That's so
in the ring.
funny.
That's right.
Oh, so yeah, my brother's getting murdered in the ring, but let me do this, my gimmick real
Yeah,
quick.
let me dance first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so what I thought was cool was they put over the fact that obviously Darby Allin and Sting had come in to help to save Matt Hardy, but then when Jeff Hardy makes the big save, they brought up the fact that he was saving his brother, his childhood hero, and fellow North Carolina in Darby Allin. So I thought that was pretty cool.
You know what?
I
That
hope-
was cool. Sorry.
I hope it's not like some. I hope that was cool. Yes. Nope.
No, I was gonna say, you want to know what I thought was cool was the look on Darby Allin's face. He was just like,
Oh yeah, fucking.
which is how I would be if I was standing 2 feet from Jeff Hardy.
Can you imagine being Darby Allin and not only having wrestled
CM
and
Punk.
tagged with CM Punk,
Sting,
Sting, Jeff Hardy?
He's
those-
having
like-
the time of his life.
You've been
He's,
the
he's
TNT
living
champ.
his childhood dream.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was awesome segment, even though again it was rushed. So this is what surprised me the absolute most is that Wardlow can fucking talk.
Yeah.
Was not expecting that at all. I thought he was just going to be like a big, like shouty, MJF, I'm going to beat you because I'm Wardlow and I'm going to beat you. Like I thought that. No, he was awesome. Didn't know he could talk. So I look
No, he
forward
was
to that.
he was very well spoken. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't great. It was okay, but
Oh,
But
see,
he
I
wasn't-
was-
he
it's just
didn't
weird
sound
that
like-
he was talking.
But he didn't sound like a big oath. Like
No,
Like
no.
AJ
See, I was
No.
my expectations
No, he
for him
did.
talking were so low that the fact that he
That-
sounded
Right.
pretty
formed
good.
a
Right.
subject verb agreement. So
Yes,
he's
that he like coherent, complete sentences.
yeah,
So I loved it. I thought it was great.
proper use of nouns.
Yeah. Kept the adverbs to a minimum. It was
Right.
great. Up next, we have the AEW Tag Team Championship, Jurassic Express versus The Acclaimed. I honestly skipped this. I love Anthony Bowens. I hate...
The Acclaim's going to be the tag champs for the end of the year.
Which
you heard,
they-
you heard it here first.
they
They'll
should.
be the tag champs for the end of the year.
I agree.
Yep.
And they should. They really should. I hate Max Caster so much, but they're a good tag team.
Okay.
So up next, Thunder Rosa. I'm good at talking. I am not Wardlow clearly tonight. Thunder Rosa versus Legit Layla Hirsch. Of course, Thunder Rosa wins, continuing feuds that lead up to cage matches with Britt Baker, which hopefully that'll take the title off Britt Baker because she needs a change.
Well, it'll be like in Texas. So
Yeah, it's in her hometown too. So
It'll be in Texas.
Makes sense.
Thunder Rosa.
To close out the show, we had the TNT champion Sammy Guevara against Scorpio Sky.
Thank God.
I really liked this match. I thought it was great. Scorpio Sky is so underutilized. I still think he's a shit talker, but he's so good in ring, and I was happy to see. Like, I like Scorpio Sky better than Sammy Guevara. I do. There's something about Sammy Guevara that annoys me. I don't know what it is exactly.
Yeah, you can tell the crowd wasn't happy with this title change, but I feel like they put it on Scorpio because they didn't want Sammy to take the loss from somebody else. Like,
no,
Scorpio ain't gonna be holding it for long.
No, they're going to. No, it's because they're going to California.
Yeah, and they're gonna slingshot
and
it.
He's from STU. He's from Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
So
he won't have it long.
There you
go. But yeah, Scorpio Sky wins the belt. Afterwards, Paige Van Zant signs an AEW contract, which is awesome because
on whose butt was it that she signed it on?
Fuck, I don't remember. Whose was it?
Yeah, but she signed on Tay Conti.
Oh yeah, Tay Conti. There we go.
She signed on somebody's butt on their tuchus.
Yeah, Tay Conti, who I fucking love. I want to sign things on.
Don't love her enough to remember her name.
Shut your goddamn mouth. So that is AEW Dynamite. Moving on to Rampage, which this is kind of a throwaway show. Like, there wasn't a whole lot. Darby Allin fought fart. Fart. Farts are funny.
Yeah, they are.
No matter who you are. See, even Seth thinks they're funny. No, the only thing that the weirdest part was when the Hardy Boys came back out. It was so awkward.
Yeah,
like Jeff looked like he didn't know what to do. Like they dropped him in the middle of like an awkward land. Like he just kind of stood there and was like awkwardly clapping. It was kind of like, he was not excited whatsoever.
Did the distraction? He's like, so we're actually gonna go in the ring? We're
just gonna hang out. Be fine.
You got anything for Rampage, AJ?
Just the highlight. I'm gonna put air quotes around highlight. Was a WWE match. We had a WWE match in AEW. Of course, Tony Nese versus Swerve Strickland making his in-ring debut.
I really enjoyed that though.
It was a good match. It was pretty good.
The mogul.
Whose house?
It's Paige's
Ron's
house. It ain't Swerve's. It's Paige's.
This is my house.
Paige, yeah.
It's Paige.
Throwback.
Whose house?
Swerve's house.
That's not going to get over, is it?
No.
Swerve's house?
I don't think so.
It's already over. Did you not?
It is not over, Primo.
It is
not over, Primo. It's because of his debut, dude.
Yeah,
like
the next time he does
that,
it's not over.
He came into a company and the crowd is already chanting it.
Yeah, but when next time they do that, there's
that don't mean it's over because a couple hundred people chant it. It wasn't that loud.
A couple hundred.
It wasn't that loud.
If a couple hundred people chant Primo, then I'm fucking over. Okay.
Nah, a couple hundred out of the thousands.
You chant Primo in your own brain, so you're already over to yourself. So what does it matter for 300?
And out loud.
I got about 100 personalities, so that's about right.
All right, is that it, AJ?
Yeah, there's nothing else to note.
Primo, roll us on the WWE, dude.
Time for the doobly smacking it down, baby. So we get into SmackDown. Brock Lesnar was out for blood because last weekend the weekend prior, at MSG, Roman Reigns laid him bloody and beaten and stood over him, holding the double championships, saying Brock Lesnar acknowledges me. So obviously Brock Lesnar comes out to SmackDown. He says, "You done fucked up, Roman. You don't draw first blood on Brock Lesnar." Which I thought was kind of I knew that's kind of where he was going to take it. Because, I mean, I feel like that's a legit thing. Like a legit statement. I wouldn't want to draw blood on him first because you know he's going to kill you.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Roman was not there on Friday night, and Paul Heyman was, so he chases Paul Heyman out of the arena, and Paul Heyman's able to run to the vehicle and escape, and that was that. Sheamus introduces another protege. He is none other than the debuting Pete Dunne, who is Pete Dunne no more. Instead, he is Butch.
Butch. He's like a little rabid dog, like that beats up on, like
Butch.
that, like tears up on carcasses after the dogs
Butch.
tear
Isn't
what they
Butch
want.
the name of the big dog? When he's like, "Let me at him."
Oh, fucking Butch.
Yeah, Butch and Scrappy or some
Yeah,
shit. I
yeah.
don't know. Like, yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
yeah, I got you.
So anyway, Big E. Obviously, we talked about that was during this segment with Butch. Butch is like this. He's Pete Dunne. We know he's the fucking bruiserweight Pete Dunne. I feel like you making him Butch takes away from everything that he already is.
It's ridiculous.
And
It's absolutely ridiculous.
but they are making him this little scrappy pit bull that they have to like pull off of people.
Yeah.
And he looks extremely tiny next to like 6'4" Sheamus. So
definitely.
Butch.
Next up, we had Austin Theory coming out, running his gums against Pat McAfee, and Pat McAfee socked it to him.
Sure did.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
Sock to him, sock to him, sock to him,
sock it to me, baby.
No, Pat McAfee brawled with Austin Theory until Pat McAfee had to be pulled off of him. Which is pretty cool. I like that. I like that they didn't, they showed him losing his cool, and Michael Cole was like, don't do it, Pat. You're better than that. You're big. You have a job to do, Pat. And obviously, Pat's like, I wear tank tops to work. I don't play that shit. And punched him right in the fucking mouth.
I wear tank tops to work.
I love Pat McAfee.
I do too.
I think great dude.
Great.
He's so funny.
Yeah. He's really like fit well in that role.
Yeah.
Right. And then lastly, to end the show, Charlotte brawled with Ronda Rousey in the parking garage.
Sure.
The end. All right, moving on to Raw.
Let me say this real quick about SmackDown, real quick before you roll. I just want to say I'm happy that Ricochet is the Intercontinental Champion, but there's no prestige on that belt. It's on the same level as the United States belt right now.
I think it's.
I hope they do something to elevate it.
Neither of them mean anything right now. No. They're just things that people carry. They have no meaning whatsoever, which makes me sad.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with that.
So sad.
I was trying to put my finger on what Ricochet's gear was like. It looked like a tribute to something, but I couldn't tell. It was had flames on it and shit, but it looked cool.
Yeah. I do know he's an Eagles fan, Primo.
Fuck that.
Yeah, he used to wear a lot of Primo. He used to wear a lot of Eagle stuff on the Indies.
Look, man, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Ricochet, Prince Puma, whatever we want to call him, but we don't have to call him an Eagles fan.
He's an Eagles fan.
So moving on to Raw.
Raw. The crowd wanted Cody. The Jacksonville crowd wanted Cody here.
They did, yeah.
Kevin Owens starts off the show cutting a promo on his WrestleMania to be guest Stone Cold Steve. Oh, let me take a drink for Stone Cold.
There you go.
Hell.
Oh, hell yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Later in the show, though, he is backstage trying to cheer up his buddy, Seth freaking Rollins, about not having a WrestleMania opponent yet, or a WrestleMania opportunity, I should say, when a light bulb goes off in the Visionary's head. Later, Seth ends up coming to the ring. He's like, I have a great idea. You inspired me, Kevin. How about I have my own talk show, and my guest is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he's like, better yet, how about I just wrestle you for it? And then Kevin's like, no, what the fuck, bro? I came up with this idea. And that was kind of a funny segment. I was just like, you could tell Kevin Owens did the panicky thing like really good, where he's just like, wait, I came up with this.
Right.
And then Sonya Deville comes out and she makes it official to be in the main event. After that, Edge comes out and debuts new music, which is still Alter Bridge. It sounds like
This was weird.
He cuts a whole "I'm better than you" promo, heel promo
under a glacier light.
Yeah, why was it blue?
That's my next question. That's my very next question, actually. Do you think that he got the okay from the Undertaker to start using the blue light? Because that's the Undertaker's thing.
I don't think he needs it.
I don't understand.
You know how they are with gimmicks and shit.
Yeah.
Like Taz got mad that Ruby Soho had orange on her damn t-shirt.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, really?
But Undertaker isn't Taz.
Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't understand the blue. I didn't like it. I was like, who cares?
Well, then he's doing his job because you're not, you're hating it right now. So
no, I don't hate it. I'm confused by it.
Oh, well, either way, you don't like it.
This is true.
Yeah.
I don't.
So RK Bro has their championship celebration. The Street Profits interrupt and challenge them for a match at WrestleMania. Initially, RK Bro declines their challenge, but Street Profits insist. Riddle is able to talk Randy Orton down, and they accept the challenge. However, during the singles match between Riddle and Montez Ford, Alpha Academy interrupts and decimates everyone, kind of signaling it's going to be a triple threat situation.
Glad RKO's the champs again.
Yeah, glad they're the two-time, much like myself. But
I thought they were going to break them up and like make them go head to head at Mania. You know what I mean?
That's what I was expecting.
I think it's time to put the belts on the Profits again.
Yeah.
They haven't been the Raw title holders that they had SmackDown.
They're so good. I love the Street Profits.
Yeah, they can win it at Mania. I'd be cool with that.
Mm-hmm. They're so good. They're really good. Yeah, I like them.
They are.
And then afterwards, after this, a tribute package was played for Scott Hall. It was pretty good tribute package.
Yeah, it was.
It was very good.
And then in the main event, Seth Owens. Seth freaking Rollins and Kevin Owens have their match in the main event. Kevin Owens, though, is able to pull off a hard-fought victory and will still host the KO show at WrestleMania.
Sure.
Yeah. Like I said, the crowd wanted Cody. I actually read where Cody was maybe going to debut last night in Jacksonville, but they pulled it because of the whole Razor Ramon thing and Somber and that kind of stuff. They didn't want to kind of upstage that night with a big like entrance So I think Meltzer come out today and said that it's going to be Seth and Cody, so we'll end up seeing Cody later on. But I think it's funny, we had another Veer coming to Raw, and it looks like he's been coming for so long to Raw that his eyes are crossing now.
How is he getting to Raw? Is he walking?
Well, the thing is, we determined this already, me and you, on a past episode. He is walking, but every time he gets halfway there,
he's asymptomatic.
Yeah, and the show moves. So
I forgot about that. That's how long it's been. That it's
about 2 weeks ago, he surpassed Emelina's coming to Raw. So he is officially the longest one.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen when he gets there, too? Is people are going to shit all over it and no one's going to care.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be like, oh, fuck, you actually came?
Oh, right. Weird. Like, you can go away now.
It'd be funny if they like stood up and like clapped, like he finally made it, yay! Like hey.
They just put it like a finish line.
He like crosses it in the tape, leans forward in the tape. Last note I had was I thought AJ's rebuttal to Edge's talk was funny. Like it was like a social media post or something. He's like, I'll be there I'll see you
there on Monday.
Say I'll be there Monday, like your stupid blue light and your dumb new haircut or something like that. Oh, light him up, man. That's so funny. All right, let's go to NXT, man.
Moving on to NXT. So NXT kicked off with the most must-see talk show in WWE, Miz TV. I was super hyped about seeing The Miz until he mentioned Logan Paul. I had actually completely forgotten about that.
Same.
Like I seriously forgot about the whole Logan Paul thing, and then he brought that up. His guest is none other than the new NXT champion, Dolph Ziggler.
I'm here to show the world.
Come on. So I wrote down, it was so generous of Miz, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode to make NXT relevant for a few minutes with all the star power in the ring. Braun Breaker does not interrupt, but someone else does. Let me talk to you. L.A. Knight, brother.
Knight. Whose game is it?
L.A. Knight's can't win. What, tonight? It's Primo's game. It's the anniversary night.
It was tonight. It is
Sorry,
tonight.
sorry, L.A. Knight. But L.A. Knight ends up getting a championship opportunity against Dolph Ziggler in the main event, in which Ziggler retained. After the match, though, Braun Breaker came out demanding his rematch at Stand and Deliver on WrestleMania weekend. So next up, that was your main storyline. Some side storylines here. Santos Escobar beats Cameron Grimes to move on to challenge for the North American Championship at Stand and Deliver. Afterwards, he is backstage. I thought this was actually kind of cool. Afterwards, he is backstage talking about himself being the greatest luchador of all time. When the actual legend himself, possibly the greatest luchador of all time, Rey Mysterio, shows up with his son Dominic. Then Dominic challenges Raul Mendoza, and then actually Dominic wins. And then finally, Tommaso Ciampa comes out and gives like a reflective promo, basically reflecting on his 7 years in NXT. He says his future is unclear and tells the crowd thank you. And then out of nowhere, hey, how you doing? Tony D'Angelo comes out and basically says that beating Ciampa will elevate him. And then he challenges Ciampa to a match at Stand and Deliver. Tommaso Ciampa accepts, and Tony knees him right in the dick. So,
Who's Stand and Deliver? Is Stand and Deliver the Friday night before Mania starts?
I think so.
Yeah, it is.
Mania's 2 nights.
It's either Friday night or Saturday day.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know for sure.
I can't see it being Saturday day.
I can't. I gotta get my my techies to look that up for me real quick. Techies, look it up for me. All right, so yeah, I will say if you guys watch this actual promo here that Tommaso Ciampa was giving, he's giving a reflective promo, about his time in NXT, about his time with DIY, his time as the Blackheart, as possibly he calls himself the greatest NXT champion of all time. And dude, the fucking crowd was annoying the shit out of me. Just shut up and let him give a damn promo. Like they're doing the whole one more match. We thank you, Ciampa. Like all that shit. Shut up. It's a small area. Shut up. I want to hear him talk.
He kept cutting them off too, and then he like, "Hang on, stop." Yeah. He like,
exactly. It was super annoying. You're ruining the moment because you won't shut the fuck up. Like I can't tell you how mad I was watching that at the crowd. I was just like, dude, do you not see that you are ruining his promo?
Shut up. Shut your mouth. It's fans getting themselves over. By the way, NXT, you are correct. It takes place at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Central on Saturday.
Cool.
April 2nd.
Saturday day. Okay.
So yeah, Saturday day before night 1 of WrestleMania.
Before 4 hours on Saturday night and 4 hours on Sunday night.
There we go.
So it'll be a nice smooth 12 hours.
Good 12 hours of wrestling.
And we also stream Guava Mania.
Yep.
That's right.
So yeah, but that one's like I'm more.
That one's on Friday. So
right, it's quite the weekend. That is NXT. The best part about NXT was Rey Mysterio. So we had Rey Mysterio show up.
That wasn't the best part of NXT.
No, that wasn't the best. But no, I'm not.
That's one of the worst things.
That wasn't. First of all, Rey Mysterio being there was not the worst. The Dominic part.
It was because he brought Dominic.
Yeah, because Dominic. Look, everywhere I go, my son goes too. I get
with his awesome haircut.
I mean, I'm not the greatest luchador of all time. I'm just the greatest sit-down mark.
Yeah, but you're not in a wrestling show 24/7 either. So
right. But they had The Miz, Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and Rey Mysterio all show up to NXT.
You think they're going to do some cross matches maybe at Mania?
Yeah, I think. Well, they're trying like hard now to make NXT 2.0 the third brand.
To see Rey Mysterio and Santos go at it again, because obviously we've seen King Cuerno and Rey in Lucha Underground. Yeah. So I'd love to see that again.
Because obviously Braun Breaker's going to win the title back. You know, Dolph's going to make him look real good, that kind of stuff. So
yeah, you got to make him a 2-time champ. I think what they're going to do with him is they're going to make him who has the third? Tommaso's the 3-time. So they're going to have Braun break his record.
Yeah.
quickly too, and like he's gonna lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it, and they're gonna move him to the main roster early.
Do you think that he's the one that takes down Roman Reigns finally?
Fuck
Oh,
no!
God, no, don't start that
Fuck
shit.
no!
Who's it going to
God.
be?
No one,
The Rock next year in LA.
dude. How many
He's going to hold
years?
it all the way
Okay.
until LA next year. The
How
Rock.
many years did Bruno Sammartino hold the title?
36.
Yeah, that's a whole. You can't
No,
compare
no.
the eras.
We can.
Oh well, I mean, you can't. If he holds it for that long, people are gonna stop watching wrestling.
It's a new age. You know what I'm saying? Like they're recreating history.
So
Right,
5 years
yeah.
from now, if Roman Reigns still has the belt, are you going to still watch?
I probably wouldn't.
No, I'd be tuned out 3 years
because you
into
know what's
that.
going to happen.
Acknowledge me.
All right, let me move on to Impact here. So, Impact Wrestling recap before we get to our Dropkick discussion here. All right, so Josh Alexander's back. He says that at Rebellion, he's going to be the champion again. Honor No More comes out to interrupt. Basically, this show was basically more Impact versus Ring of Honor, but Ring of Honor has been banned from ringside from all the matches tonight. So basically, that's what we go through. They did announce that April 23rd, their next pay-per-view is Rebellion, and right now it's being advertised in Poughkeepsie, New York. So that should be interesting. And then later on, we have a 8 knockouts tag team match, including Mickie James.
Fuck, I wasn't ready. Hardcore country.
Hardcore country.
Her
team ended up winning. Later on, Bullet Club comes out to say that they are coming for all the gold. Alex Shelley comes out to talk history with Jay White and tells him that he knows that he is the best in the world.
Right.
Saban comes out to join Alex Shelley.
That was our
and here we
intro.
go. We got the Motor City Machine Guns back
Fuck.
together.
Yes.
They're going to take
Yes.
on Chris Bay and Jay White next week. So they got a little rivalry brewing there. And then we get to the main event, Rich Swann versus Eddie Edwards. Eddie wins and stands tall with Honor No More as the show goes off. So,
That's why I put that in the intro. I really like. Well, number one, fan of Alex Shelley, and Motor City Machine Guns.
I love Motor City Machine
Yep.
Guns. I love them.
And I just thought that his promo against Jay White was cool. How he was like, "Look here, like little bro, I made
Yep.
you. You say you beat it. You say you got your fingers and everything. Look at everybody else that I've touched that you have had the chance to wrestle with."
Hardcore country.
really cool there. So, yeah, it was pretty decent. Pretty decent impact there. They're building up to Rebellion. So that's going to do it for the recap for the week. It's time to get to the Dropkick discussion. All right, Marks, if you guys are all sit down, I am ready. If you're
Better be
ready, it's
fucking
time
sitting down.
to get to our WrestleMania famous match for this week. This one, we've decided to go back to WrestleMania 29, CM Punk versus The Undertaker. This one went down April 7th, 2013 in East Rutherford, New Jersey at the New York Giants Jet Stadium. There was roughly about 80,000 people there. This is one of those outdoor shows that they did. One of the first outdoor shows that they did for the first time. So, on this card, we had Rock versus Cena 2. We had Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. It was a really awesome feud by CM Punk and Undertaker. We had a long feud going on by these two, and it was finally coming to a head. Punk had stolen the gimmick urn that contained what they kind of made out to be Paul Bear's ashes at one point, but not really. But anyway, they basically just stole the urn away from Undertaker and tortured him all the time by doing careless things with it, throwing it around, that kind of stuff. So really kind of pulling on Undertaker's heart because Paul Bearer had died not long before this. I
Just
believe they were
passed away.
playing-
Yeah, like very recently.
Yeah, they were really playing into the storyline. So this rivalry also included Punk was also a druid one time, and he ended up jumping the Undertaker. But Punk ended up winning a 4-way to get to compete against him at WrestleMania. So even at one point of this rivalry, CM Punk basically unscrewed the urn and poured the ashes on Undertaker's lion body, basically there. So that was got him a lot of heat. And this was actually during a Paul Bearer's tribute that he interrupted. So coming into this, Undertaker had the streak still. It was 20-0 going into this one. Punk was saying he's going to be 20-1. Taker was going to say he's going to be 21-0. Punk had Paul Heyman with him at this time, which was really cool and really added to the storyline. Paul even dressed up as Paul Bearer at one point to kind of add to this storyline. So this was pretty wild, man. So really good video package as usual to start this thing. So before we get to the openers here, what you guys got so far before we get to the entrances?
I wrote down, I forgot how hilarious CM Punk was in this feud leading up to the match. Like, he was so funny.
Shit.
Yeah.
I wrote down the same thing.
And then I just put, what was in that urn? Sugar?
I thought
it was glistening like sugar.
Yes, I thought it was either like sugar or.
And then because he licked it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought salt maybe, but I wouldn't want to lick salt either. But either way, yes, the promo package was amazing. I was
just laughing. I was dying the whole time. I was like, CM Punk was just so fucking funny the whole time.
All right, so get the match started. Coming to the ring, CM Punk is brought to the ring by the actual band Living Color. They sing Cult of Personality live as Punk comes to the ring, which was a really cool touch. For this entrance here, and then Undertaker comes out. I timed it. It wasn't that long. It was only 4.5 minutes here, so wasn't too bad. Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Wasn't one of the worst.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the worst. So they both get in the ring. They're staring each other down. They both, it's a big brawl to start right off the bat, and then quickly they go outside of the ring. So what'd you guys hear before I get to the actual match part? What do you guys see in the entrances that kind of made you thought was pretty cool? I love the Undertaker part where the people are like grabbing at his feet. Mm-hmm. That's a really cool visual.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Two things. Number one, fun fact, I've seen Living Color perform live in a random ass, very small club in Europe. It was like a pop-up thing they did.
That's pretty cool.
Secondly, this is my personal favorite Undertaker WrestleMania entrance. With the clawing at him. And by the way, if you didn't know, the people that were clawing at him were Sami Zayn, Xavier Woods, Byron Saxton, Eric Redbeard, Brody Lee, The Ascension, Miro, Chris Hero, and Adam Rose.
That's fucking awesome. I did not know that.
Hey, Jay, you got anything for the emphasis here?
So I loved, normally when WWE hires the live bands to play the entrance songs, you get shit like Lemmy just going, Hunter game,
right.
Hunter game.
My time! That one
or
band.
You get like Kid
DX,
Rock.
Yeah.
And
this one wasn't that good either.
It was better than a
Yeah,
lot of them.
They actually sound like the music, like for the most part.
They sounded like the band, and they knew the lyrics to their own song, which is.
I thought this one and the one where they sang, I think it's Saving Abel or somebody. Whoever sings
The
Randy
live
Orton's. No, whoever sings Randy Orton's song, they did well when they did it live too.
Do you guys remember when when Rob Zombie was on doing Edge's Dracula music, and it was like the worst thing ever?
Never gonna stop.
But you also
Rango,
hate that entrance.
Number 5, or whatever those fucking lyrics are.
I happen to like that entrance.
Oh, I hate that song so much.
But personally, I've never been the biggest fan of when the bands play them out. For me,
there's something silly about it.
Yeah, I'd rather hear them. I'd rather hear the actual music play.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Also, I loved that when Taker was making his entrance, like CM Punk bailed out of the ring, and actually after Taker got in the ring, he was like fumbling with the urn again and like throwing it to Paul, and
he's tossing it in the air like a football.
Yeah, then he like pretend to like drop it and be like,
right up to the last minute. Yeah. So. All right, so to get the match going here, basically they brawl to start as expected. They go outside. Taker's basically in control until he goes for the old school. Punk drags him down off the top rope and then kind of takes control of the match for a little while. Punk delivers his own old school on Taker. Crowd goes nuts for it as the crowd's really starting to build here as they were really an integral part of this match. Punk was in control now for a little while. He goes for another old school, but Taker counters this time and takes Punk back out of the ring. Taker looks like he's going to do like a suicide dive, but Paul gets in the way, distracts him, and then basically Punk gets back in and ends up hitting him with an elbow off the top rope. And then basically after that, Taker battles back with a choke slam for an almost near fall attempt. And this is kind of where it starts, like the build up, when they start really getting into the heat of this match. Like they are literally going back and forth. So what I really liked about this match, and just small little things too, is like whenever Taker would get near Paul in the ring, and Paul would be outside, he'd always hold that urn up to try to like distract him. You know what I mean? Just small little things I thought was kind of cool. But outside the ring, they go once again. Punk climbs onto the post of the ring while Undertaker is laying across one of the announcer tables. Punk jumps off. He makes it. He clears it enough, but he almost kind of like hits it sideways. He doesn't hit it down enough, so the table doesn't break, and it's kind of like a hard, stiff, like all of a sudden stop by Punk there. So, but I'm totally into this match. Like it's, they're really into it. Undertaker, who's laid out on the announcer's table, doesn't even really move. But this was supposed to have been a spot where it was going to take the Undertaker a while to get back into the ring. You know what I mean? So anyway, so they go along with the spot anyway. Punk's inside. Mike Chioda, 1, 2. You know what I mean? So like it's really long pause. Undertaker makes it back in 9 7/8, before he gets the 10, But as soon as he comes back in, a bunch of submission attempts by both of these guys, which leads to a really cool sequence that I really love because Punk goes to hit the GTS, but Taker bounces off the ropes after the GTS and gets Punk in the Tombstone pile driver. But it's almost kind of like maybe the first time I ever seen like a spinning pile driver because he kind of grabs him in motion. They really could have fucked this up. Like this could have went bad. But Undertaker's that good, and they kind of like spun him around, hits him with like a spinning Tombstone pile driver. Punk kicks out, at like 2 3/4 basically here. And then here comes the ref bump. Like y'all, I feel like, lately we've seen a lot of ref bumps happen. So Chioda takes the ref bump from Punk's elbow. We're getting Paul Heyman distractions. He gives Punk the urn. He hits Undertaker, and then he goes to pin the Undertaker. Undertaker kicks out on 2 3/4 again. After Chioda wakes up, like it's Chioda's gimmick to wake up to make counts and then go back to sleep, right? Or like whatever he was selling. So we get to the end of the match. They're both struggling for control. Taker counters a GTS to a second Tombstone. Once again, this time getting the win. Taker gets the win, goes 21-0 at WrestleMania. He grabs the urn, does his salute as fireworks go off, that like we're used to seeing. So really cool here. So talk about the match here, guys. Primo, what you got?
So, number one, I don't like the shaved head look on either one of these guys.
Yeah.
Also,
Taker had the mohawk here.
Yeah, Taker had the mohawk, and CM Punk had
the Brazilian,
the shaved head.
Hi, Mrs. Primo.
And so I put up next. I was like, "Hey, look, it's Mike Chioda again," because we saw him last week. Yep. Me and you saw it. Well, AJ saw him too, but for the Hogan versus Rock match. So he's just calling all of our WrestleMania moments. I love the counter to old school that CM Punk did.
Super dope.
I liked Punk's Undertaker inspired gear. It was purple and black, or gray, purple and black.
Yeah, it was Undertaker had rest in peace Paul Bearer tights on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Punk had the Undertaker colors.
Yeah.
So, and then I said, what does it say about the respect that Taker has for Punk that he let him do old school on him?
Right, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
the Undertaker was
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Oh, man. Miss Primo just fucked me all up.
Forearm shorts.
Yeah.
forearm shorts for the Undertaker.
And I just put, like, you know, obviously after all this happened, we all know, like, real world, the health that CM Punk was in. So I put, I see this whole match completely differently, and just knowing that CM Punk wasn't in the best health. I did put the spot with Paul Heyman where he distracted him, and then CM Punk came off of the ropes on the turnbuckle. Thought that was pretty cool. Paul Heyman had me cracking up with the urn because he was just like holding on to it, like trying not to drop, like it was like kind of how he does Roman's championship.
Yeah.
Undertaker, when CM Punk put him on the table, he like gingerly laid down on the table.
He did, yes. Like, don't hurt my hip while I get up here.
Yeah. And then I put that had to hurt so bad for CM Punk because the table didn't give at all.
Right.
I put the triangle choke. I thought that was the counter to the triangle choke was kind of poorly executed, but it is what it is. And I think that tombstone you're talking about, where they spun around, where he came off the ropes, I feel like he kind of had to commit right there because he couldn't stop his momentum.
Yeah. I think so.
And I've always liked the no sell from Undertaker, where he bends over and then they kick him and he stands up. It's always one of my favorite things Undertaker does. Yeah. And I just say I like the finish was pretty cool, how they kept countering each other, and obviously Undertaker for the pin. I did like the CM Punk, how he tried to do the Undertaker pin. That was cool too.
Yeah. But
overall, pretty cool.
Where he folds the hands over and then with his tongue out. Yeah. AJ, what you got, buddy?
So first, before the match even starts, like I forgot to mention this like during the entrances, but I love how CM Punk like marked out when the first gong hit. Did you guys see CM Punk the ring? He was like,
yeah, he's like,
fucking awesome. I loved. By the way, this is one of my favorite Taker matches. Actually, it might be my second favorite Taker match because it's just such. The rivalry was really cool. Also,
yeah, it
was really stupid when they were like, "Oh, Paul Heyman has the urn. That's the source of Undertaker's power." It's like
Undertaker.
It's a fucking urn. Like they're still at WrestleMania 29, so this is what 2010 or something like that.
They're still doing the superpowers gimmick.
13. Yeah, they're still going with he has powers drawn from the urn.
Like the only thing that would have made it more is like if he like held the urn up and lightning struck it.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like,
or like they took the lid off and light shot out.
That's right. Yeah.
So I loved that CM Punk did old school because that was fantastic. I also liked his gear. Because I was like, oh, CM Punk, or I was like, Taker gear. I'm like, that's great. And the whole match, he did little things like that to kind of mess with Taker's head. I wrote the Zangief pile driver with the spinning thing. I was like,
Zangief,
that's funny.
So I love that. Like I went back and rewatched
Street Fighter.
Yes, because I was like, Zangief pile driver.
Nice.
And so the ending of the table spot outside. Yes, he like gingerly placed him up there.
Yeah.
And then I still love CM Punk's Macho Man. He'll point both.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
12 o'clock. And it looks like he broke his hip on that table because the way Punk hit, it was just like, Wah!
Yeah.
Like it just stopped him.
Yeah. But so they didn't need to worry about gingerly placing Taker on the table at all. But I did love how after the elbow, Taker just kind of like oozes off the table.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't roll off. He doesn't like. He just.
He just melts off the table.
Yeah, he does, man. Yeah, it's peeled off the side of it.
Then I love all the reversals and like heading towards the finish. I love all the reversals. I thought for sure CM Punk was going to hit another GTS. Well, I thought for sure when I saw it the first time, I thought for sure he was going to hit another GTS. And then when obviously he does the Taker's across the throat, he does the Taker pin. This is why CM Punk is amazing. And finally, when Taker hit him for and they were going back and forth. Punk is supposed to be the dirty rotten heel in this feud. The crowd fucking still loves CM Punk. They're cheering for both guys. I know, like there's
best in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Pretty hot at the time.
You know, anytime anybody taunts Taker, they're fucked.
I know, which is great.
Right.
I love that CM Punk was doing it. But I loved when he finally hit the tombstone, got the 1-2-3, 21-0, and this was. I remember at the time thinking that I wanted CM Punk to win so much, but this was the right result. Like Punk didn't need the rub of being the first to defeat Taker. I mean, Brock Lesnar didn't fucking need it either. But whatever.
I mean, this was The Undertaker's last victory, right?
Yeah,
before Brock.
I will say, I said it then, and I will say it now. This should have main evented WrestleMania. It should have main evented this year.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, it definitely
over Rock and Cena for the title.
Yeah,
2,
absolutely.
Rock and Cena 2.
2.
I don't know about that.
First Rock and Cena, absolutely not. Second or Rock and Cena 2, yes, I think.
No, it was a year build up. You don't have a year build up on a match
year.
And put another match in front of it.
Yes, you do.
I don't even remember who was like the other, like the co-main. Like,
Brock and Triple H.
Yeah, Brock Triple H.
Yeah.
All right, so after this match, boys, CM Punk would end up leaving Paul Heyman, and then Paul Heyman would join for the first time none other than Mr. Brock Lesnar.
I'm adding jowls.
So that happened, and then Undertaker would end up showing up whenever he wanted to, whenever he wanted to. So, all right, boys. So let's put a bow on this thing, man. Really awesome match here. You got to rate it for me here as we do. Mania matches only. Considering this as a Mania match, is this a top 5, a top 10, a top 15, or a top 20? AJ.
Top 20.
Okay.
Top 25.
Okay.
Because I love this match so much. I loved it then. I love it now. But it's not an important match. It's not even a fantastically great match.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful match. And top 30. Top 30 matches.
Primo, what you got?
I thought I was going to be the unpopular one. Because I was going to rank it low. I'd say top 25. That's fair. It is a WrestleMania match. It's part of the streak. It's CM Punk. It's Undertaker. However, when you think of the greatest WrestleMania matches, is it? It's like it's a good match and it's fun. The feud was a good
storyline. Paul Bearer just died.
Yeah, the whole thing was
They touched on some real issues.
I was gonna say this earlier. I'd love to think because of what all they did here that one of Paul Bearer's like dying wishes was like, go make a feud out of me or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah. like it's okay if y'all want to use me in storyline after I'm gone, whatever. Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you guys, man. I think it's a top 25. I couldn't talk myself any higher than a top 20. You know what I mean? And but like it has all the makings. You know what I'm saying? It just at the time, it was a great feud. Were we emotionally invested? A little bit, but not a whole lot. But it was a great match, great storyline. One of the best Undertaker matches. Punk's awesome, no matter who he wrestles with. Yeah, so I think we're probably all in agreement, man. I'm gonna stay somewhere around in there too. So,
by the way, really quick, since I didn't get to do last week, you want to know my rating for the Rock Hogan?
Sure. Yeah.
No, you didn't show up. We don't care.
I know. I want your rating for Rock Hogan 2 at No Way Out.
Top -1. It's so good that it goes. It's not even a real number. It's an imaginary number. Rock Hogan, I put in top 15. I love that match.
Yeah, okay.
50?
15.
No, he said 15. 15. Nice. I like it. Yep, that warrants it. All right, that'll do it for this week's Dropkick discussion. Next week, Michael's coming with us, and we're going to be watching the actual main event from this year's WrestleMania, but back when it happened in WrestleMania 31, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the title. We got the Seth cash in there, so we're going to come back and break down that match next week. So go check it out and follow along with us. And that'll do it for this week's Dropkick discussion.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins, and you're listening to Sit Down Marks.
All right, for today's 1 year anniversary pod, I wanted to go big. You know, I told this guy that, you know, when I first started watching Midwest independent wrestling, when I moved here about 8 or 9 years ago, this was one of the first guys I've ever seen wrestle. One of the hard-hittingest guys I've ever seen on the independents, man. It was really cool to talk to him. I can't believe we actually got to talk to him, man. But this interview with Gary fucking J, Gary J outside of the Midwest, Gary fucking J if you're in the Midwest, the Gateway Heritage Champion for St. Louis Anarchy. Me and AJ just saw him just go to absolute war with Anthony Henry. We talk about that. Primo, man, it was great to talk to Gary J, right?
That's right. The King of Catterday. He was awesome, dude. He was a great conversation. And I liked talking to him about, like, especially hearing about how he's able to talk to some of the younger guys and, you know, impart his knowledge, you know what I'm saying? It was fun. He was a really good conversation, and I can't wait. One day we'll have him back.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and like I said, I was super excited to have Gary J on here and for our 1 year anniversary pod. So here's our interview. My and Primo, we got to sit down with Gary fucking J, the Gateway Heritage Champion for St. Louis Anarchy. All right, there was. If you didn't know Gary J, now you do, man. He is one of the coolest guys out there. You know, he's always willing to hand over knowledge to other guys in the business. He's the Gateway Heritage Champion. He's got a lot of wrestling coming up. He's going to be in the Dingo Invitational. He's got a big fight with John Wayne Murdoch coming up. You know, he's going to be wrestling Bucky Collins in the main event of the Zawa Live Guava Mania 2 match going on down in Arlington, Texas that we are sponsoring. So Gary J, man, he is he's getting out there. Go see a show if Gary J is on it, right, boys?
Yes, and he has one of the coolest fan-involved entrances in all of the 80s.
He talks about that in the interview. Yeah.
So it's so awesome. I love it.
He talks about how it came about and like how it's evolved. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, well, if they're listening right now, then they just heard it, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well done, boys. Well done. We've only been at this a year already. We've only been at this a year. Yes. Very good. All right. So let's move on from Gary J.
For the interview. I don't know.
All right. Next up, it's time for a really cool promo school. Here we go.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer.
This is Space Jesus, Billy Starks.
This is referee Dan Perch.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw. You can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
You're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
Come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DB, and AJ.
And you're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
All right, so for today's promo school, I don't think we'd ever had John Cena on here, so I was like, man, you know, he's one of the best promos out there. When he was hot, man, he was really hot. So I dug this one up, man, from February 27th, 2012. The Rock, John Cena was in the ring together. This was during one of their feuds they had going on, and John really puts him in his place here. You guys are going to like this one. This is really interesting, man. Let's roll this one, this promo from John Cena on The Rock from February 27th, 2012.
This is too much fun. I was not going to miss this. I mean, you actually referred to me as Kung Pao Chicken. Kung Pao chicken. Only The Rock could refer to me as Kung Pao chicken. It's genius. It's absolutely brilliant because every single Chinese restaurant you go to, it's always there. It's perfect, Rock. And this is perfect Rock. The Rock comes out, does his shtick, holds the millions in the palm of his hand like only The Rock can do. But I must admit, I didn't come out here to swing for the people's strudel or whatever you call on your penis nowadays. I came out here to tell you were right. You're right, I am that guy. I'm the guy who runs you down when you're not here. As usual, just like everything else, you're only half right. Because I'm the guy that runs you down when you are here. You see, these people love The Rock. I was one of these people until I got to meet Dwayne Johnson. And Dwayne Johnson is a self-centered, egotistical, see-through son of a bitch. That wouldn't give a rat's ass if this company closed its doors tomorrow. Now, I'll tell you something, Jack. I don't need words like respect and loyalty to trend worldwide. Just like I don't need my notes for my promo on my wrist. Nice tattoo. So here's the skinny. April 1st, when the millions see John Cena versus The Rock, John Cena is going to be eyeing up Dwayne Johnson. And I don't like Dwayne Johnson. He'll probably make your boobs bounce. There'll be a thing on your eyebrow that looks like the people's eyebrow. But I'm going to be looking into the eyes of Dwayne Johnson and see a man afraid. Because you're going to be looking at a dude who may not have balls, but a dude who's going to beat the hell out of you at WrestleMania, Jack. Carry on. Continue trending.
Mic drop. That was pretty nasty there from Cena, huh?
It's a little bit of truth to it, and
Saw
now
him a little bit there. He went shoot.
a little bit. But I will say that I always disliked when Cena used his like fake accent. Fake accents just always bother me.
Like, what up, dog?
Yeah, I just don't.
I mean, you know, he is from West Newbury.
Yeah, the mean streets of West Newbury.
But I like how he referred to him as he was like all of us, a fan of The Rock, and then he met Dwayne. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty good promo there by Cena on The Rock from the good old days of just a little more than 10 years ago. So pretty cool there. We'll be bringing that back later on. Another promo scoring down the road. Time to close the show. What? Go ahead.
I was going to say, ironically, now, obviously, Cena is now making movies and nowhere to be
Right,
found.
yeah. This primo could have been flip-flopped.
Pretty good movies too. Like I like they're both pretty successful. I can see John Cena taking the exact
Marine
same
One
path.
is excellent.
Yes.
Right, The Rock's movies are all way better than Cena's movies.
The Rock
for sure.
is a fucking Hollywood superstar.
Just give Cena time. Give him time. He'll get there.
All right, AJ. Time to close the show, brother. Where can you get the Sit Down Marks podcast? Let them know.
You can get the Sit Down Marks podcast first and foremost right here on the YouTubes, starting generally.
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal. 6:30, 5:30 Central Standard Time. Also, you can get it on Spotify, Stitcher, some other ones that I generally tend to make up. Anywhere you can get your podcast. And of course, please leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy what we do. One more thing, we are on before the
number one
Thomas Bryce Show on SportsWire Radio at 6:15 on Friday and throughout the week. Catch us. We're all over the place. Put us in your ears and, brains and hearts and all
Put
those
us in your
things.
ears.
all the things.
All the things.
Also, I'm just gonna go right into it. We have merch, new merch.
Been selling a lot of merch lately too.
Where can you get that Marks merch?
Well, you can get that Marks merch. First, I would like to say that we have some new designs, designed by Mr. Primo Silver Fox down there.
Oh, with ideas from the other two here, AJ and
yeah, but we don't do any other work. We just sit here and
he makes our ideas come to life.
Yeah, we just get to go to shows and do fun things. Then we put Primo to work down there.
He puts it all together.
Yeah,
he's the glue.
We have new designs. We have the ever ongoing argument of pancakes versus waffles t-shirt.
That's right.
My favorite t-shirt of all time. We also have some cool retro designs. We have some graffiti designs. We've got all kinds of stuff. Go buy those things.
The pancakes versus waffle shirt was so funny to put in.
We've been selling a lot of t-shirts lately, so if you've been checking out the site and buying our t-shirts, we really do appreciate it. Hey, show us those shirts out there in the wild, man. Have your friend take a picture of you on it. Shoot it to us at Sit Down Marks on our social medias, man, and we'll shoot you some free stickers, man, for buying a shirt, man. We really do appreciate it.
Oh, also, you can buy those shirts at tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. That link, once again, is tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks.
Super dope, super dope. All right, let's get to these UFC picks. AJ has finally reached the spectrum of 500. This man is going to clock in at 41 and 41 today.
I made it to mediocre.
How about a hand here for AJ? He finally made it.
41 to 41.
41 to 41
is what it took before he finally got
completely mediocre.
82 matches to break even.
So I used to have
phrase it in that way.
If you listen to the pod, I used to have AJ pick the card. Now we're going to switch it up since he's gotten to 500. We're going to switch it up. AJ is just now going to be picking the main event of the card of the weekend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him the main event. I'm going to give him records, stats on these guys, their nicknames, that kind of stuff, and then he is going to make an educated pick based on what I've told him here. So AJ, all right, let's get you started off here, man. The UFC Fight Night main event for this weekend is Alexander Volkov versus Tom Aspinall. Let me tell you about these two guys before you make a pick here. Alexander Volkov is coming in at 34-9. He is 6'6", 33 years old. His nickname is Drago because he is from Russia, and he is ranked number 6 overall.
I feel like everyone from Russia is nicknamed Drago.
They are. All right, his opponent, Tom Aspinall, is weighing in at, not weighing in, I don't know his weight. He's coming in at 6'4", 11-2 is his rank.
256 pounds.
There you go, 256 pounds. And then he is currently 28 years old. He is from the UK and rank 11th. So, AJ, make a pick. You going with Alexander Volkov or Tom Aspinall in the main event?
Alexander Volkov. He's Russian. Russian against a British guy? Yeah.
All right, we'll see how that comes out here.
I just saw Primo's face. God damn it.
Let's jump over to Primo. Primo's MMA lock of the week. He is currently sitting at 8-5. Primo, looking at this card coming into this week, man. Primo, he's going to give us a lock for anybody on the main card here. Primo, we got the main event, which I just talked about. We got Patty the Baddie is on this card. Who you think is going to come out with a dub this weekend? Help all the gamblers out there.
You know what? I'm going to go for a sleeper here. Not many people may be looking at it, but that lightweight bout in the opening matchup, Jai Herbert versus Ilia Topuria. Topuria is 11-0. I say he stays undefeated and beats Jai Herbert. So to that lightweight matchup, that could be your lock of the week.
Yeah, that's one of the fights too. Dana White said it's one of the sneakiest on the card. It's going to be really good. So all right. So let's see how this new format works out for AJ. So, and we'll get rolling here. Primo,
41-42.
Give us the preview of next week, brother.
Well, Marks, happy anniversary to us. Preview of next week. Come on in, sit down. Undead Michael returns to give us the Undead rankings for the month and help us review Brock versus Roman from WrestleMania 31. We recap the week as usual, play squared circle questions, and we will have none other than Zawa owner and promoter Zeke Zishi to promote the 5-year anniversary show of Zawa Live. Another fun one. We'll see you there. Be there. We're officially on our 2nd year going forward. So get on this while you still can. I mean, we're welcoming all listeners. So thank you all, and that's next week.
Yep, WrestleMania is coming up very close, guys, and so a lot of wrestling coming up here soon. So, final thoughts, boys. It's been a year since we've been doing this podcast. Cheers to you guys. Thank you for what you do for the podcast. It's been a blast. We've interviewed guys from the independent scene. We've wrestled former WWE superstars. We wrestled. We've interviewed female wrestlers. Did I say wrestle?
I want to say we have not wrestled any WWE superstars.
We have not. Okay, let me try.
We would die.
We have interviewed former WWE superstars, independent wrestlers, female wrestlers.
When did we do that?
It's been a really cool year. I've had a blast doing this. We've become the sponsor of 2 different wrestling organizations. A lot has happened in this first year. We got a lot of shoes to fill for this 2nd year. It's been a blast, man. I look forward to doing this every Wednesday, and our downloads are growing every week. We're getting more and more subscriptions and follows from you guys out there, and we can't thank you guys enough, for helping us out, telling friends about us, getting the word out there, and we're just really thankful, man. I know I am.
Yeah.
So
go ahead, AJ.
So I do want to again thank both of you for bringing me on, because this is almost my exact 1-year anniversary now. Because obviously you guys did a couple of shows before I came on board. So again, thank you to you two. Mm-hmm. And I also want to thank everyone who's stuck with us from the beginning with those rough early shows where we still had no idea what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah, those first 20, 25 were bad.
And we still really don't have an idea what we're doing, but we're now experienced at not knowing what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's this year we've gotten to do things that I know that I've wanted to do since I was a kid.
Sure. AJ, you just got to call a whole wrestling card.
Got to do the whole show as color, and
and that has happened because of the podcast. You know what I mean?
And we've met so many cool people, so many cool wrestlers, promoters, refs, like the whole gamut of people. And it's because of this. So thank you so much, all of you who have been with us from the beginning. Thank you to those who joined later on. Thank you if you're listening for the first time ever right now. Thank you so much.
So, if you guys didn't know, me and Dirty didn't know each other like super well. We knew each other, and we supported each other like on Twitch streaming. But before we started the podcast, and then we ended up with 2 podcasts at one point, and me and Dirty obviously originated this particular podcast. We both love wrestling. I've talked about wrestling my whole life, and I finally got to talk about it on a podcast, so people listen to me talk about it now. And at one point, we have a text thread between the 3 of us. Nearly 9-10 months ago, we said, wouldn't it be cool if one day we could be on a wrestling promotion, or commentate, or be in, do anything that involves a wrestling promotion. And next thing you know, we are the official sponsor of a wrestling promotion. We work hand in hand with Iron Spirit. We have Dirty and AJ not only commentate once, but twice now. Mm-hmm. Like, how freaking cool is this? That this has evolved so much. Thank you all for listening to us since episode 1.
Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you, Ziggy, for the first couple episodes.
Right. Thank you, Ziggy.
We got to throw Ziggy in there.
Yeah, it's for sure. Obviously, Ziggy was there for the first few episodes. This was part of him and Dirty's original brainchild. But sorry, could you shut up, Siri. So we evolved this from what it was in the beginning to what it is now, with all the sound bites, with the merch store, with the sponsorships that we do, in all the events that we're a part of. And it's just crazy. And I never thought we would get to the point to where we are, interviewing wrestlers, being part of wrestling promotions, everything. Yeah. So just thank you to everyone who listens. We can't wait to see what YouTube, that was just year 1. So we can't wait to see what YouTube brings us. And thanks again.
Yeah, I mean, all this has happened, grassroots, us starting from the ground, and, of using equipment that we have. Now we all have fancy pod mics and headphones and badass computers. And
remember when we didn't all have pod mics?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's terrible.
I used my AirPod.
We've come a long way from such little, like, you know what I mean? Like, I told, I told these guys, in the beginning, I'm like, we nobody might not listen to us, but we're going to try to be as good as possible.
For
and,
sure.
And we've definitely tried to do that.
I will say, if anything else, like, even if you don't like wrestling, even I will go back and listen to us and cut the hell up because we are funny.
Yeah.
Like we all our humor is pretty much aligned, and we are gladly happy to entertain all of you too.
Man, it makes me proud. I mean, we got our logo on a poster that's going to be at WrestleMania this year.
Yeah,
that's so fucking amazing.
In one small year. That right there makes me very, very proud, and I can't wait to see where this thing goes.
Insane, dude.
Yeah, pretty wild, man.
We're just 3 wrestling nerds from.
That's
we
right.
are. I'm excited for year 2, man, to see what's going to happen. What else can we do? Like, what I mean? I'm excited for it, man. But I definitely want to thank everybody out there. Download, subscribe, and tell all your friends. It's been an awesome, fun year. I had a great pod today, boys. This was fun, man. Was glad to be back here with you and commemorate this 1 year anniversary on 3/16 day. St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, so everybody be safe out there. Take care of yourselves. You guys got any more notes here before we head out?
Nope. Just thank you. Thank you. Oh, also, I do recommend going back and listening to the first few episodes. Those are the Texas Primo episodes. Like
you won't make it through the first couple of minutes, but you can try.
It is very rough. That's before we learned how to edit audio. So
So we brought AJ on, and he loves the Junkyard Dog, and that's how he come up with this outro. AJ, take us home, baby. What does the Junkyard Dog say? Did you say grab them cakes? Because it didn't sound like it.
Was that your grandma saying it? Or
all right, take two. Take two. AJ, take us home.
Kurt.